Today I can finally say it's happening. I'm gonna spend 3 months in Denmark, but I won't stop here. The plan is to live 3 months in each European country. But if you're thinking you'll see Copenhagen, well, you might have to wait a bit. We start from the south. Sonderborg. So, this is Denmark, and this is the highway that I took in Germany. This is the border between two countries, Germany and Denmark, and practically 20 kilometers far away from the border, this is the first step of my movement. And I plan to stay here for a week, so this one is the area that I'm covering right now. Yeah, I arrived, but now what? How do I even do a job I've never done before? No boss, no colleagues, nobody saying, come here, let me show you before you mess up. Now, who do I ask when I'm clueless? Travel, explore, discover, photograph. Sound familiar? Honestly, I couldn't care less about places that only fill up my external hard drive and not my mind. Have I been there? Sure. Do I remember anything? Come on. Was there really anything worth remembering? I don't think so. So let's go for a walk outside. I get dressed, leave home and wander around the city. Suddenly, impulsively, I do the dumbest thing possible. I turn on my camera and start recording. No script, no idea what to say. You start vlogging because you think there's something worth saying. Nobody to help me? Alright, then I'll experiment. Let's start with something logical. Google. I zoom, scan, observe and take notes. I don't know if it's the best way to find people to contact, but it seemed logical. And logical it might be, until you meet people. You tell them who you are, your project and what you're looking for. Or at least, what you think you're looking for. Maybe the first week is still too blurry to be sure. But that's exactly when everything started to shift. Back home, the Airbnb host messaged me. On arrival day, I told him my purpose in Denmark. Immediately, he started helping me. Danfoss and Linak. Now, only one thought occupies my mind. I open my laptop, search online, browse official website, find standard support emails, then close the laptop. I don't like it. So I restart. Laptop open again, I search online more specifically this time. LinkedIn. Applying filters, I connect with 4 or 5 people who might be helpful. They quickly accept, and coincidentally, all from Danfoss. I start chatting. I know that it's late. I better sleep. I suddenly woke up from the dream. I'd fall asleep at the table with my laptop open on LinkedIn, trying to message potential contacts. Will anybody ever take me seriously? I say as I collapse, discouraged and uncertain. Yet I saw those images clearly. They were in my mind, but they felt so real. Like I'd actually accomplished something. If only they slow down. I feel like they speed up on purpose, so I couldn't grasp anything. If only I could recall a single moment, maybe I'd have a clue. What's my next move now that I've glimpsed my goal but still had no idea how to reach it? What the heck is that? It's not my alarm. Not sure I got this right. I turn it off and on again, making sure I'm not dreaming. It's all real. Tomorrow morning, I have to go to Norborg. I wrote to some people on LinkedIn and they replied me practically instantly, few hours after. And I have this type of private guided tour in one of the most international companies that has a headquarter here in Denmark. Its name is Danfoss. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I'm very excited about this type of opportunity. It literally means a lot for me to, being here less than a week and already achieve this type of opportunity. It's amazing. I don't know how to explain differently, but not only. Just because I also have this type of opportunity where I can talk with a real expat. A real expat that works for the company, for Danfoss, who already experiences relocation processes, bureaucracy, legal stuff, whatever. So I wrote a list of questions. I hope that I can cover as much as possible of those questions, but I don't know, we'll see. Is an international company like Danfoss actually interested in me? Can't believe it. I had no idea where to start, but it's showtime. Gather all the possible information from their website and socials. Write a sensible list of interview questions. Don't freak out, because I'm not super fluent in English. And boom! Here we are at Danfoss headquarters. Yeah, it's me. Nice to meet you.
So I came to Europe for the first time in 2002 as an Erasmus.
Okay.
Erasmus. For me, it was just an exchange program. I was living in France, so I lived in France for a year.
Okay.
And then I traveled around, of course, throughout that year, all over Europe. Very randomly, I ended up coming to Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in Poland, and then somebody told me, you should really go to Denmark. It's such a nice place. I can connect you with a friend. I loved it. I thought it was a beautiful country with very kind people.
Okay.
It was, I think, like so different because it is a very different culture from where we come from in Mexico. Even though I was not able to speak the language, I was not able to talk to anybody in anything other than English. I woke up like it was June, 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's already bright because in here, getting close to summer is very short nights and very long days. And during that season, you have the yellow fields. So I remember like opening my eyes in, like early morning, and it was like full of yellow fields, green fields as well, a lot of beautiful housing, water. It was just like I felt like waking up to a fairy tale.
Okay.
And I just like inside of my heart was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could live here one day. So then I worked for an American company for some time, and then later on I got a call or an invite to join Danfoss.
Okay. You contacted them, or you are contacted by them?
I was recommended by the university I studied. So Danfoss was looking for somebody, and then the university put my name on it, and I actually decided to take the opportunity. Right?
Yeah.
So I moved from the US and I started in Danfoss.
You have to obtain some sort of working permits or visa.
Danfoss has locations in I think like more than 60 countries. And one of those is Mexico, and then I started doing what I was doing for this American company in a much smaller scale for Danfoss, but Danfoss being a much larger organization.
Yes.
So we end up taking the challenge and the opportunity because we thought, okay, the US can always be there, but Denmark sounds quite exotic for us. We're a very young family. I just had a baby. So we're like, let's give it a try for a year, and then we can always go back.
So all of your family agree with your decision at the time?
If it's over for a year, just go have fun, explore, and then come back. And then we tried that, and it was actually, then 1 year, and then you come experience is really nice, and I think like the work environment is also super nice. You have a lot of, I would say flexibility, and in general it's nice. So then we tried another year, and then another year, and now it's going to be 12 years. But it was not too long ago that I actually thought of this memory that I had, when I was like, I think it was more than 22 years ago, that I was thinking like, oh, how wonderful it would be to live in a place like this. And then I get now to live in a place like this, right?
Yeah.
And that feeling like you like where you are.
Your expectations were met, or there's something that's still missing?
You will always, especially as a foreigner, like have this feeling that you're missing something.
Okay.
No matter if you go back home or if you're like in a holidays, you will always be missing either your family or your friends or the food, the connection. There will be always something, and I think that's something that you have to get used to, because now even go back home, it feels home, but it's not 100%.
Yeah.
But if you're here, you will always be missing something else about it.
Your husband is here?
Yeah.
Okay, how long does it take for him to find a new job?
So he came as a consultant. He opened his own company, and I think that was nice and successful for some time. But then, of course, he was missing, like, he needed like to have this routine and environment and colleagues and all of that. So he actually then later joined Danfoss for some time. But it was not an easy journey. He did that successfully through sports. He has this ability to connect with people through sports. I think as a foreigner, it's not an easy journey to find a job. It's just like a close community.
How do you see yourself in, I don't know, in the future, 5 years, still there, or you want to move?
I see myself here, short, medium term. I think like this is still like a very good environment. I can totally connect with the politics, with the community, and in general feel comfortable. Still fitting in, even though you still have limitations, and that can be language, that can be traditions, that can be, because we carry different backgrounds. But yeah, I see myself, and then like professionally, I have a very good development. But I'm also confident that development can be anywhere. It depends on me.
So talking about language, what's your level of Danish? Is something that is strictly needed for living here and also working here, or you could be good as well with English?
I think it depends of what are your expectations and your plans, right? To live here day to day, you don't really need Danish. Like, you can survive really well with English, and I think that's sort of like a spoil for us, the foreigners, because then we will push ourselves to learn the language, which always will give you an advantage to understand the culture better, right? And I think in the work environment is also not needed. Day to day is all in English, and knowing Danish will not really give me any additional advantage. But let's say, of course, when you grow a family, then that becomes different, right? And Danish will always appreciate being able to communicate in their local language. So it is not an easy language.
No, I know.
But like any other, it comes with, not only knowing the grammatic or having the right pronunciation. Also, pronunciation is really a sensitive topic in Denmark. But also sometimes just like understanding the slang, right? Like little phrases that you read them and makes no sense, but it has a meaning for them. So that also comes with more and more exposure. So I have like some friends, partners they're Danish, and that also, I think that opens other possibilities to be exposed to the families and the traditions, and that's but that also can come if you really push yourself. So being on the right mindset, and then I think like finding the joy in doing that.
Do you have any type of issues during your relocation process? Could be around legal stuff, bureaucratic stuff, whatever it is, taxes.
It worked really smooth. So like Danfoss normally provide the relocation company that will guide you step to step and will help you with like housing and like maybe a general introduction to taxation. Also, our colleagues in taxes are also very, welcoming and supportive. So it was sort of smooth, but of course it helps a lot to already have a community here that can help you, because at least the Mexican community is like very supportive. So there was always somebody who was open to help and guide and come with some advice, and even like take us around to show the supermarkets or practical stuff. So in general, the process to transition from our home country to here, it was smooth, but I can of course hear other stories that it doesn't go always so smooth, but there is always way to solve it, and not only relying on the company resources, but also in your own network.
You told me that you have this type of linear and smooth process of relocation, but many others probably won't have it. So maybe you talk about any other expats. Maybe you have some tips for things to do or things not to do. You create some sort of guidelines that could represent a good starting point from...
I think, like, of course, it will depend depends on like your priorities, but no matter what, I would say like always come with a good idea of a budget.
Okay.
You know, like I have this like basic file that I try to share with anybody in regards to like what are the basic expenses with like food related or insurance related or, you know, utilities, etc. So it's like at least just to have, you know, a basic understanding, because of course Denmark is not a cheap country.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not the incomes or the salaries are not the level of other countries like US, right? So it's like there is some adjustment to make there, but there are also a lot of, you know, like I would say like support from the government in regards to other things like health or school or additional classes that you might be interested, that in other countries can be very expensive, but in here they're quite affordable. So I would say like that. And then also like if you have some personal hobby, like activity that you like that can be a sport, any activity that you enjoy doing, I think like that is also maybe another way of creating additional communities outside of maybe work or, you know, family. One great help during our journey was friends that we already have here.
Okay.
And then also some tools in the internet, like there was a web page with a lot of advice.
Okay. What's the moment you are most proud of during this process?
I think I have many moments of pride. Like I have 3 kids, of the birth of the 3 kids, you know, in with very different environments. 2 of them they were born here, 1 was in the US.
Okay.
And that was like, I think like super, of course, beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know, I have heard so many stories of the medical system here in Denmark, and for me it was just fantastic. And I feel actually really empowered. Like I feel like in other countries you're more or you're putting a lot of power in the doctor and the person, and in here it's like the power is on the patient. So I really enjoy that.
There is something in the culture that you're not completely aligned with.
It's not that they're like you know, butterflies or you know, it's like perfect pink looking stories everywhere, but it's just more that I think that everybody should take responsibility no matter where you are. I think, you know, you cannot change everything, but you can change yourself. So I think that's more my message. I have had a challenge here in my journey, of course, you know, but I also had many challenges anywhere I have been. In particular in Denmark, it's new to the, you know, Danish society to be integrating foreigners. It's something that is, you know, coming, and of course in some parts they feel concerned. They want to make sure that they successfully integrate everybody so they don't lose, you know, some of the essence that they have and a lot of the advantages that they offer. So I fully understand. And then it's just a matter of having empathy. And not everybody is as open as you wish. But then you can just be open in return and then show them, and if not, then keep moving. Right? So in many occasions I think like we have faced where like maybe if you look different or if you speak different or if you have an accent, then people will just be more reserved. And that is of course unfortunate, because then they miss the opportunity to get to know or get to experience different things, but that also comes with your own background. So yeah, I cannot take responsibility for that. Some Danish people, they have a lot of pressure from the society in the way things look, right? That's why maybe you have so beautiful furniture, right? And so beautiful buildings and architecture, because they take a lot of pride on the exterior looking of things. And for us, it's more about joy and, you know, being together and just have a good time. Maybe that's another challenge. It has been a transition from being that. I think like I cannot put it on my Mexican background that I'm not always on time. But in here, I came to learn that how time can be so precise. You know, like when meeting 6 o'clock is 5:59 being outside. And where I come from, being on time can be rude sometimes. So it's like that has been sort of a transition and a lot of learning. And after 12 years, I'm still learning, so I'm not there yet.
And you have any type of problems at the very beginning? You have different traditions for whatever reason.
Like saying hi. We say hi, we kiss, cheeks, we hug, especially just if you to close same friends. Like there is this very important tactile, you know, like a greeting. And in Denmark, it's or in the Nordic countries, is more of a distance. The respect of your own space is really important. Even when you're saying hi. I came, I was like, you know, so happy to see my colleagues, even if it was not in work environment. Like if I see them on the supermarket, I'll be like you know, like very happy, because that's how I'm not normally or naturally being raised. I mean, the colleagues, they will know, but maybe the partners, they will. You know, that can be, of course, a challenge. But then you learn and then you correct and
You know, I experienced this type of feelings because I've been here since 4 days. But yesterday, for example, I went to the fitness center and I was doing my own workout. But at the same time, I saw that 2 times that while I was doing a machinery, there are other people that are gently and kindly waiting their turn. In my fitness culture, if I go to the gym and if I have to do some type of exercise at the machinery, I can ask to the person that is already doing it, and we can do it alternatively. Here, I don't know why they are waiting patiently their turn. I mean, ask me, there's no problem.
It's just very different, right?
Yeah.
I think this space, what I say, is like this sacred space is
Yeah.
so important. And for us, it's like you break it, right? You're just like feeling very comfortable.
Yeah.
It has to do something with the weather. Like it cannot be that just by coincidence all the, you know, like warm climate countries or cultures are more, you know, like open and, than the...
So you might think that in a future month where I have to move to the north, it could be okay. It won't get better, even if it's summer.
You will also start noticing people changing, right?
Okay.
People starting smiling more and being happy, more open, and I think that's also part of the impact of the weather.
And does this weather has some type of impact in you or not after 12 years?
I think in everybody. I came here like completely happy, motivated that it was a new experience. So I was like, oh, I don't really mind if the sun is not shining. It's fine. But then I realized that I was sleeping longer hours. So then I'm like, okay, it does have an impact, of course. So I now realize that I need sun. It's something that I just, I think everybody needs to have a lot of energy and just to be energized in general.
I want to thank you extremely for your precious time. I don't have any other question. I mean, if you want to conclude with some sort of tips or suggestion, feel free to, you know.
I think like the place where you are born like helps you, you know, in terms of like, you know, learning about yourself, your upbringing and identity, but that should not limit you. That is, I mean, you are not only the place where you were born, right? Or the family that you belong.
Yeah, exactly.
You are whoever you want to be. And if you want to go out and, you know, travel the world like you're doing, because that's where you're feeling the most, you know, happy or satisfied, or that is connected with your purpose, go for it. And if you feel that there is all the joy that you need in the place where you have been, you know, living all your life, then stay there. I think that is such a personal decision, and that you should feel entitled or empowered to do it. Of course, sometimes there are circumstances, right? Like our kids, they didn't have a choice. They were born in a different place where maybe their mom or their dad come from. But then at some point, whenever they are, you know, mature enough and old enough to make a decision, most likely they will also move, and they will move to the place where they feel that they are feeling in better or belonging. And I think we should all challenge ourselves. And I think we all need that sense of belonging. You know, I think the fact that you say I'm Italian, like you will always be Italian, or you might be say like I am, I don't know, like Catholic, or I am a sport player, or I am like whatever. I'm a fan of Milan, or whatever, right? That's important as a human being.
Yeah, sure.
But that should not define you.
Thank you so much for your precious time. My first week in Denmark was ending. I still couldn't fully grasp what fate had given me. Yet before even realizing that, one constant thought persisted. I mean, you are not only the place where you were born. You are whoever you want to be. And if you want to go out and, you know, because that's where you're feeling the most, you know, happy or satisfied, or that is connected with your purpose, go for it. She is right. I'll always be Italian. And nobody can even take that away from me. But I refuse to assume my future must be in Italy just because I was born and raised there. I have no idea if another place might define me better, but I believe this journey will bring new answers. Maybe it was just luck. Maybe I really don't know what I'm doing yet. But I believe I'm ready to dive into this freezing water.